Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. So in this video, I wanted to talk about the whole topic of AI and more specifically, how much it has gotten out of hands. AI has been a huge topic this year because mostly ChatGPT, but also other generative AIs like Midjourney and all that stuff. But here's the thing, AI has been such a huge buzzword that people are now putting it everywhere. Everything has GPT in the name. Everything. Literally, I got Expedia, right? I just got an email that Expedia has like a ChatGPT in there. I've got an email that my sleep tracker has GPT in there. Everyone is going all in this technology. But can we really trust this AI? How often is it wrong? Are people truly looking at whether or not this is okay? Because here's the thing, unlike a regular piece of software, AI will be confidently wrong, meaning that on a regular piece of software, you can throw an error. If you're not sure, you throw an error or there's a bug or whatever. And errors do happen in classical software. But AI has the curse of confidence. It will give you something that it thinks is correct. And the more we put AI into our daily lives, the more these incorrect answers, these incorrect behaviors are going to come up in our lives. Is that something that we are okay with? Because a human making mistakes, okay, but now we have computers also making mistakes. So, for example, personally, I use ChatGPT and OpenAI a lot for my help with coding and all that stuff. And again, I still think that this technology is wonderful. But the amount of time that it has given me simple code, literally one line code, one line that was incorrect to the point that it would not function. This happened so many times. And yet, I see so many people who are using this AI to generate applications. Look, if this thing cannot get a single line piece of code from PowerShell without making mistakes, then why do we think it can make a full-blown application? Now, the mistakes were basic. They were basic mistakes that somebody just beginning would catch. Like, what happens when you join an array with like quotes or whatever, but then you forget the first and last element type of thing, right? So they're very simple mistakes that it doesn't catch. So why would it be good enough for production? I also use Copilot. Copilot, often I have to disable because it is a distraction, because it is completely wrong in things like Terraform, because it hasn't seen enough examples of Terraform, and because it is not updated on the latest documentation. Now, I fully believe that these tasks will be solved. I fully believe that OpenAI and Midjourney and all these things will be able to solve the current problems that they have with enough data, with enough training. But here's the thing. Because AI is now everywhere, they have a new challenge that's coming up. And that is finding content, newly generated content that is not generated by AI. Because here's the thing, that you're training AI on itself. Now, if that was a good solution, then we would have done it decades ago and it would be perfect. But we now have decades, and it's going to become harder and harder and harder to train because of all these AI presence in the world. Now, another point is that writing applications with AI, with ChatGPT, is so extremely lazy. Once upon a time, right? Seems so far away now. Once upon a time, when you made an application, you had to understand the core logic. You had to really master the topic you were going to present. But now, because of OpenAI, because of ChatGPT, people are now plugging this in to every single application they can find, taking away the core, the actual intelligence of the application away from the programming and into the language model. Now, here's a problem with this approach. This is called the black box problem, right? ChatGPT and the language models out there cannot explain why. There's no way for a language model to explain its reasoning when it comes up with an answer. And that is different than the answer being the reasoning being explained. Because what these language models output is a probable answer, what you want to hear, right? And think about it this way. Think about a child who has learned by heart an answer. And when you ask them a question that is very close to that answer, they can give you what looks like proper reasoning of an answer that is incorrect because they learned a convincing answer. If you ask the child to explain their reasoning, why they came up with the answer they gave you, they will not be able to because it's learned, it's mechanical, it's automatic, right? So there's a difference between the AI verbalizing an explanation and this explanation being correct. I've not tried it, but think about it this way. If you ask the AI to explain why 1 plus 1 equals 3, it will confidently explain it because it has the ability to give you an answer. Now, with the black box problem, we are not dumping more and more of the responsibility of understanding the task at hand onto an AI. That we may have trained the AI, but still, we don't know what's happening, right? It could be completely wrong. So because we have no traceability, no understanding as to why the AI is doing things the way it's doing them, we cannot debug, right? If a classical application, I will call classical anything that doesn't have AI. If a classical application makes mistakes, we're going to have somebody report a bug. Then a human can go in the code and figure out what was the issue and fix it permanently. With AI applications, when there's an issue, what's going to happen is someone is going to say, this is wrong. Then we're going to say to the AI, this is wrong. Can we guarantee by this one addition to the AI, can we guarantee that this will never happen again? And the answer is no. You cannot guarantee that this will never happen again. We are now putting ourselves in a situation where the people who make the AI model have no idea why it's behaving the way it is. The people who develop applications with the AI model have no idea why it's answering what it's answering. The people who are using the application, using the AI model that was created by another company, have no idea what is happening. So we are now creating a chain of people who have no idea why anything is happening other than it's happening. So if we move to a world of pure AI applications without any understanding as to why these applications do what they do, we are moving to a world where human understanding is becoming less and less. Now, instead of having experts programming and requiring applications, the level is going to become lower and lower and lower and lower, to the point where we're going to have AI, and that's something that people already advocate and create tools for. We're going to have AI creating software that uses AI, and we're going to be in this vicious circle. We're going to be in a vicious circle where AI doesn't understand what it's being asked, that's asking AI that doesn't understand what it's being asked, that's creating applications for people who don't understand what's being asked, and we're removing the intelligence. My prediction is that AI is a bubble. It is great. It is wonderful. But with enough careless developers out there putting ChatGPT and all these language models into their application and stripping them away from the actual reasoning, we're going to hit a wall. We're going to hit a wall where these widely available applications are going to start making mistakes. They're going to start making mistakes. They're going to start hallucinating too. That's a different concept. AI does hallucination very well. They're going to start making mistakes. And people are going to be like, whoa, this thing with AI, I can't always rely on it. So they're going to drop the AI companies. A lot of them will fail. A lot of these AI companies, not OpenAI. Well, actually, maybe OpenAI will fail too. But they're going to drop these companies for more classical applications. What I want you to do, as somebody who is probably working in tech and made it this far into my rant, what we need to do as people who work in tech is, one, understand the limitations of these AIs, understand the use cases where they are not acceptable. Second thing, we also have to advocate for better restrictions on AI. And I don't mean like don't use AI or whatever, but let's advocate for more responsible use of AI. Let's not get it out of hands. It is such a great tool that everybody wants to put it everywhere, but not everybody knows how bad it truly is. We also have to say that AI, OpenAI, ChatGPT is not the answer to every problem. It is not a model that can do anything. Despite being advertised as such, despite people advertising it as such outside of OpenAI, because I don't know that OpenAI advertises how capable the model is nearly as much as everybody else. So, to recap, OpenAI is a fantastic tool. I use it. I used it to create this video, help me with an outline, put my thoughts together. It's an amazing tool. But we have to recognize its limitation. We have to recognize that it's not simple. It is definitely not a simple problem. And we have to slow things down. We have to say, this is not acceptable. This is not an acceptable use of AI, and we should not be going down that road. We have to stop being lazy. Putting AI everywhere does not create an application. It just creates a parrot who will repeat things without really necessarily understanding it. And if we do use OpenAI, if we do use AI in our applications, we have at the very least have to have the understanding of how it is supposed to answer. We have to have enough understanding to be able to vet enough answers to deem the application okay. We also have to provide enough answers to deem the application okay. It is a fantastic tool for so many simple use cases that we could train it on that are very obvious. But it's not the tool, it's not a jack of all trades. It is a beautiful parrot that will make mistake because it has no idea what it's saying.